There's been some discourse today about like showing your kids Star Wars. There was a guy on social media being like, I showed my 10-year-old daughter the Star Wars movies. They've been watching them over the last 2 years. It sounds like that's too long of a time frame. I have nothing but criticism for this guy. He seems nice, and his kids seem to enjoy the movies. But like, this has just been really bothering me. This really bothers me whenever this comes up, because of course I asked, like, what order did you watch them in, and he's like, he told me he showed her the original trilogy first, then the prequels, then the sequels, and he said that he did that because he thought that she didn't know that Darth Vader was Luke's father, and when that came around, it turned out she did know that. So that was pointless and for nothing. And for me, like, this is just so annoying because now this kid's first memory of Star Wars is, yeah, my dad insisted on watching them out of order for some reason. She doesn't get it, you know what I mean? Please stop. Please, Star Wars fans, please, I'm begging you, please stop clinging to the past like this. Please just let it go. You will never have I Am Your Father again. I'm sorry. It will never happen. It will never happen again. Not ever. It will have to be some new movie that you don't care that much about, and you're watching it and you're finding yourself invested in it, and then that moment happens in the movie, and then you'll get to relive that. But you will never ever get to have I Am Your Father again. You want to throw your kid a real plot twist? You want to throw them a real plot twist? Have them watch episodes 1 through 3 in a row, in that order. No stops, no breaks, no Clone Wars, okay? Not in one day, but like, maybe a couple of weeks. I don't know, whatever you got time for. Um, when that kid gets to episode 3 and not only is kindly old Chancellor Palpatine like the greatest villain of all time and truly dark and evil, but also the noble hero who had a couple of moments, but you're rooting for him. He's like, yeah, he did kill all those people in that village, but that was kind of understandable. Hopefully he learns from that and grows. Nope, he turns out to be Darth Vader. He's actually Darth Vader. Like, if you want a plot twist for your kid, that's the plot twist. Like, you're just never gonna have I Am Your Father ever again. That's never happening because everyone knows what that is. Everyone knows that Darth Vader is Luke's father, dude. You can't escape that. It's just a fact of pop culture, all right? Everybody knows that, like, I'm not even getting into it. Like, I'm just sick of this. I'm sick of this. I recently, a couple of years ago, there was a bar I was hanging out at, and there was this kind of like acquaintance of mine, and he was talking to me like, "Yo, you're a huge nerd. You know all about Star Wars. I've been thinking about watching them. Which one should I watch?" And I told him, just watch 1 through 6. Start there. Don't stop for the Clone Wars. Don't stop for Rogue One. Just make some time. Start with episode 1. That's the one that explains what's going on. It might be rough to get through. I don't know, but if you're not a Star Wars fan, you're not going to be judging it the same way Star Wars fans are, so it might not bother you. Just watch it, because I promise you, by the time you get to the third one, it'll be worth it. And then you'll want to watch the next 3, and then you'll be good. Then from there you can watch Rogue One or the Clone Wars or the sequels, whatever you want. But you have to like read the Old Testament to appreciate the New Testament, right? You know, weird to relate it to a religion, but Star Wars is my religion, so it is what it is. Um, I got back with him like a week later. I saw him again. I was like, "Oh, how's your Star Wars rewatch going?" And I genuinely expected him to be like, "Yeah, I couldn't get through episode 1." You know what I mean? Because this guy's like older than I am, and like a normal guy, like. And he was like, "I am halfway through Rogue One," and I was like, "The fuck are you talking about?" I told you not to watch it. Not like that. Not like, "I told you, you simple fool." Not like that. But I was just like, I thought we were just gonna watch 1 through 6. He's like, "Yeah, but Listen, I blasted through 1 through 3 in, like, 3 days. I was like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, those movies are sick." And I was like, "That's what I've been fucking saying, but go on." And he's like, "Yeah, well, my friend was like, 'Don't listen to him, he's wrong. You should watch Rogue One.'" And so I watched Rogue One, and I couldn't get through it, and now I'm kinda stalled out, and I was like, "Yeah, that's why I told you not to watch Rogue One." Like, what? Like, I'm Star Wars fans, this is for you, you need to hear this. Rogue One isn't that good. I'm a big fan of like I actually really I think Disney's doing a great job overall. There's some misses and Rogue One isn't even like a miss in my mind. It's just the weakest Star Wars movie that isn't like the Clone Wars movie. It's not that it's not good, but man, there's the thing that always comes to my mind. The first thing that comes to mind, I don't want to think too hard about this, but it's just like the ending when they're all fighting and they're having this desperate battle against the odds. Like it's shot like Saving Private Ryan, like it wants to be Saving Private Ryan, which is fine, do that. But then the music is like Indiana Jones music. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like go watch the ending of it again. Like go watch some of the battle scenes where they're on Scarif. That shit's cool. Like that shit's bad as fuck. I love the battles on Scarif. But I'm just saying that like tonally, it's kind of a mess. It's mishmashed and it's trying to be two different things at the same time. It's just stuff like that. The movie is just undercooked, and that is Disney's fault. I think it's accepted pretty well accepted now that what happened was Disney was like, all right, we spent $4 billion on this, we're getting our return on our investment, and they didn't give them enough time to make this stuff. Shitting out a movie every 2 years, that's not the way to go. I do have problems with the sequels. I love the sequels, and the Last Jedi. Prepare to turn my channel off forever. The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie. Fight me. It's the best Star Wars movie, hands down. It's that movie's standing on the shoulders of giants, but there it stands. We can go into that. I don't know if let's see how I feel, but like, but yeah, Rogue One, not it's just not it's not the best Star Wars movie, and you think it's cool because like it's being gritty and realistic or whatever, and there's not that many lightsabers in it. And then you guys also think that Solo is a bad movie, and it's like, no, Solo is actually pretty tight. Solo is a solid movie. I really, really enjoyed it. When it came out, I saw it 5 times in the movie theater. It actually holds a really special place in my heart because it pushed me to go on this like cross country trip and like live in my car for a few months, and that was actually really sick, and I had a great time for the most part. And I don't regret that at all. And I don't regret seeing that movie like 3 times at the drive-in. Like so I love Solo, and I Rogue One I saw once when it came out. It didn't like hit me the same way. I liked it, and like and it, I'm not gonna sit here and say that like, oh, the Darth Vader seems stupid. No, the Darth Vader seems brilliant. That was a great addition to the movie. That was really good because we've never. It was what it felt like. It was like the opposite of Episode One, and this is what good Star Wars should be doing, like mirroring itself. It felt like a mirror to Episode One, where Episode One begins with Qui Gon Jinn and Obi Wan Kenobi demonstrating why Jedi are so dangerous and why they're respected and what their role is in society. They're like George Lucas. He put it like they're God. They're the Godfather. Jedi are the Godfather, and they run around the galaxy forcing people to agree on stuff. Not like against their will, but they're just like, you're gonna make an agreement, and we're not gonna leave until you like make an agreement. And you can try to kill us or stop us or so that you can force the agreement to go your way, but it's not gonna work because we're like the ultimate warriors, but we're not gonna fight. We're not gonna attack you, but we will defend ourselves, and you don't want us to do that. So why don't we all just sit down at this table, have a cup of tea, and negotiate a deal that's gonna work for everyone because that's totally possible. Let's do it. And so they try to do that at the beginning of Episode One, and then the Nemoidians are like, haha, sucker, and they just try to gas them and stuff, and that doesn't work out very well. And it shows you like it not only does it show you like why they're feared and respected, but also some of their limitations with like the droidecas. But then at the same time, they're able to like nearly cut through a blast door, which is like really impressive. Um, and then so the end of Rogue One is like the opposite of that. It's like, by the way, like this is why people are afraid of Darth Vader. Like we've seen Sith Lords fight like Jedi all the time, but like to actually just like no, this is what a Sith Lord is to like the average person who doesn't even know what a Sith Lord. Nobody even knows what it is. All people know is Jedi, and in fact, when they see Darth Vader, they think he's a Jedi. They have no idea. Nobody's heard that word Sith. People don't say it, even though their flag is like the symbol of the Sith. It's goddamn. Star Wars is so cool and interesting. If you don't think that's cool and interesting, and you call yourself a Star Wars fan, like I'm not saying you have to like things the way that I like them, but literally, why are you watching this stuff? I think a big problem is that like people just like spaceships and lightsabers and aren't thinking about like these as movies or like what like the themes are like what the point that is trying to be made. I'm thinking of them as movies, and that's why like to me like Rogue One it's just it's weak. It's weak compared to the other ones. It's a decent movie, but like compare like for what it should be, it's not there. But hey, take that opinion with a grain of salt, with a grain of salt from the plains of Crate. Uh-huh. Because like I said, Last Jedi, my favorite Star Wars movie, and I didn't think that The Rise of Skywalker was very bad. I really enjoyed that movie. Maybe it's because I got the references. Maybe it's because I watched an entire Star Wars marathon leading up to it, and watched all eight preceding movies, and then watched Rise of Skywalker. So it was all like fresh in my head, and that way the movie like made a lot of sense. Maybe you should try that. Maybe you should try like because I feel like a lot of people haven't watched a Star Wars movie in years, and are because that was something. See, that's something else. During that marathon, I actually went to a marathon. I didn't sit at home and watch these. I took a bus halfway across the country because that was the only like the marathon I could get to get tickets for. Um, Regrettably, I slept through episode 4, which upsets me to this day. But I it was like a perfect 4 hour block of sleep. I know it was like exactly 4 hours. It was like one REM cycle. Um, and I woke up like 15 minutes into The Empire Strikes Back, but I was good for the rest of the marathon. But that being said, like we got to like okay, when we got to episode 2, people were trying to riff tracks that shit. It was very annoying. People were trying to like make fun of Anakin's dialogue and stuff, but people weren't having it. I I want to say they got shushed, but I don't explicitly remember that happening. But they shut the fuck up when we watched the movie. And you know what? If you just watch episode 2, it's actually a solid movie. And by the way, like Anakin's not really being creepy. He's being pushy. But the thing is, Anakin's fucking psychic, dude. He knows that Padme likes him, and there are plenty of clues. They're not even like clues. The movie just tells you like she likes him. She's just like trying to be a senator, and she understands that like he has like this job or religious belief or however you want to frame it that like prevents them from having a relationship with each other. Like she understands that maybe better than he does. But he's a young man who wasn't raised in the Jedi Order, and you know what I mean. Like so, he's like the way he like acts around Padme is very understandable, and he really doesn't go too far. He never does anything like like he doesn't do anything bad ever. He's very respectful of her, even if he gets a little frustrated. But he's like horny. What do you want? Um, and if you actually just sit and watch that movie and just take it in rather than relying on your memories from 20 goddamn years ago, it turns out it's actually a pretty good movie. And by the way, like the last 40 minutes of Attack of the Clones is peak Star Wars. The last 40 minutes of that movie is so fucking good. Because you start off in the arena, no weapons, just fighting monsters, like Luke in the Rancor pit. Uh, but then, um, the Jedi show up and they give them lightsabers, and there's like 20 Jedi, and they all got lightsabers, and they're oh my god, they're fighting the Genoshans and against these droids. Oh no, it's crazy. Oh, you think that's crazy, motherfucker? The clones are here. They attack just like the title said they would, and you know, and then it just like explodes into like a full on like Civil War style battle with people marching at each other. There's fields of soldiers, lasers everywhere, giant machines, shit blowing up. And then like the movie gets bigger and smaller at the same time by going from that to focusing in on, Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting against Count Dooku, who fucks them up. Just fucks them up. But then, oh my god, is that Master Yoda's music? Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. Come on. And anybody who says Master Yoda fighting at the end is dumb. Like, you don't watch enough movies. You just don't. Like, if you Like, I don't. Maybe someday I'll make a video about like the movie reviews, the Red Letter Media reviews. I fucking hate those people. I hate them. I hate. I have a personal problem with everyone at Red Letter Media. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want this video to be too long. I am told that the algorithm really only respects like shorter videos. Like if you're a new creator like me, so I'm actually gonna try to end this soon. But like I have a real problem with the Red Letter Media people. I think that they tried to make movies, it didn't work out, and so they focused on criticizing people who are better at it than they are. That's how it appears to me. But I remember one of their complaints is like Master Yoda shouldn't be fighting. He says that wars don't make one great. Yeah, and that's a lesson that he learned by fighting in a war, dude. Do you not get that? And also like the idea of like this little tiny old man like fighting, that's so ridiculous. Dude, he's a kung fu master. How do you not get that? I'm sorry you've never watched a movie that was made before 1977, but like this is a pretty common trope, especially in like Asian movies, like like these like Chinese kung fu movies and stuff. Like he's the little old wizened master who literally gets a hunched back and is walking with a cane. But then you threaten him or somebody who he cares about, and all of a sudden he's just like kicking your ass like Mr. Miyagi. He's Mr. Miyagi, you fucking idiot. You see what I'm saying? Like this, I get too worked up about this stuff, but like it's so you have to be either be completely fucking ignorant of cinema to hate these movies or just like be brain dead. Sorry, like and then like I was saying, like with the Star Wars marathon, right? So everybody had a good time watching episode 2 because it turns out actually a pretty decent movie. Then of course everyone loved episode 3, but something interesting happened several hours later when we hit episode 8. I remember like it was like an hour, it was like 90-minute intervals between each movie, so you had time to, just kind of stretch your legs, do whatever, talk amongst yourselves. I remember the whole time people talking shit about episode 8, being like, all right, let's just get through this. Hopefully the new one's good, but we got to sit through the worst Star Wars movie ever made. Just fucking 90 minutes of this, dude, seriously. And I was like, okay, great. Like, this is going to be a lot of fun. That's me. Oh, great. Because I love that movie. Like, the second it came, that's another one that I saw. I think I saw that 5 times too. Like, I watched that like nonstop. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Batman versus Superman that I did see Last Jedi like 3 times in the theaters. Yeah, Batman versus Superman and Solo. So if you don't agree with me, you can just hear me say that I love Solo and Batman versus Superman, and between them watch them 10 times in movie theaters, and you know what? You can have that opinion, and I can have my opinion. But the fact is, look, man, the fact is, and I can't like prove this obviously, but the simple fact is that like we got to the first part where like Poe is like making fun of Hux and everybody laughed. And every joke in the movie landed. Every joke. And people had gotten into the habit of clapping when the movies ended. Because what else are you gonna do? People think that's stupid. I think it's fun. I really do think it's if that's stupid, then laughing at the movie is stupid. Okay, having an emotional reaction like and doing a little outburst, like this is America. We're not Japanese, okay? Like we like being loud and annoying, and I think you're allowed to clap after a movie if you liked it. And I'm sorry, but I'm sorry to be like, and then everyone clapped, but then everyone clapped because it's actually a really fucking good movie. And if you have to sit through it and watch it, and can't play with your phone and talk to each other because it would be rude, and you actually have to watch and pay attention to the movie, especially in the context of the preceding 7 movies. Yeah, it's actually a pretty solid fucking movie, dude. Like, and then we got to 8, and actually people liked it in the theater. And I mean 9, and I liked it. I like 9. Is it the best Star Wars movie? No. Like, is it as good as Episode 1? No. Like, Episode 1's really good. That one really bothers me. That's actually a really good movie. People just remember Jar Jar Binks, who does have some stinkers, but like he is actually pretty funny. Like, did he crash? I'm sorry, but did he crash? It gets me every time. Like, that's a funny line. All right, what was my point? Oh yeah, like so and that's why you should show your kids episode 1 first. I'm fucking serious though. The see that's what this video is supposed to be about. Like the prequels were written in such a way, they're brilliantly written, and we never talk about this, how, like, you could have grown up with the original trilogy, and as long as you didn't know the name Palpatine, which I did because I read all the books and stuff, so I knew what was going on, but there are plenty of people out there who weren't that into it, and they watched all these movies, and then at the end, he's the emperor that you knew from the other movies. Oh my god. That's actually pretty clever, dude. That's really smart. That's really smart. Like, that's really cool. Like a reverse plot twist. Are you kidding? That is some the Christopher Nolan Memento Tenet shit. That's that level of screenwriting. To have like a reverse plot twist that you should have seen coming, like over the course of 6 movies. Like, that's incredible, and he gets, Lucas gets no credit for that. Whatever, man. Um, but at the same time, like, that's just in case, you grew up with them. But like, the fact is, like, once you get like 1 through 3, you know explicitly that Anakin is Luke's father. It's right there. It's not even obvious. It's just like part of the movie. You know what I mean? There's no mystery to it. And a lot of people are so hung up on the past and like their experience watching it 40 fucking years ago that they're just too hung up on like no, but like no, the moment that you find out, like, no, I am your father. Like, and by the way, I I wasn't there for that, but my understanding is it was more like people didn't believe him, not the movie, but him. It's like, well, he's lying. He's a liar. He's an evil bad guy liar. So of course he's lying. And that's why people suggest like the machete cut, which is episode 4, and then 5, and then 2, and then 3. You don't watch 1 at all, and then 6. So you can. What is even the point of that? I mean, I get what the point is, and I'm not going to reiterate it, but like, that's fucking stupid. You're stupid. You're dumb if you do that. You are really dumb if you do that. George Lucas made it real simple for everyone. It's episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, episode 5, episode 6. Very simple. It's not Star Wars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, with 1 being the 1977 one, because there are franchises that do that, and it works for those franchises. Like, you got Red Dead Redemption, and then Red Dead Redemption 2, which is set before Red Dead Redemption. Nobody has ever been confused by it. It's a perfectly valid choice. You can do it. You're totally allowed to have a sequel. I kind of want to use Indiana Jones as an example, but it's not really a good example because they're not numbered. They're more like, they're more like, I don't even know how to put it. It's not an anthology. Is it even, would you call Indiana Jones an anthology series? I don't think so, right? I guess maybe you would, because there's no like through line between them. It's just these different, distinct adventures this guy has, huh? I never thought about that. Indiana Jones the anthology series, because Young Indiana Jones certainly is. That show had like no order to it, right? When it came out, like now, if you watch it, they re-edited it so it's all in chronological order. Which God, I can't recommend that enough. Especially if you like the Clone Wars, if you like the Clone Wars and you want to watch the Clone Wars again for the first time, and you also like Indiana Jones, I can't recommend Indiana Jones, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles enough. I can't recommend them enough. I cannot recommend those. I can't do it. Man. And by the way, like, I'm not going to tell you to force yourself to sit through the little kid indie segments rather than skip it, because I skipped to the one where he like goes to Mexico, which is like the first one where he's like a young adult, and that leads him on his journey towards joining World War One. But I regret that. I should have forced myself to watch the little kid ones, because they're actually, the first one's kind of gay, but like they get really interesting. There's one where he spends the whole episode with like dengue fever, and his parents think he's gonna die. That's actually a really good one. But like, my favorite one is when he like breaks into the castle in oh shit he breaks into Archduke Ferdinand's castle. What? Oh my god, what country was, not Serbia. Austria, duh. Yeah. The Austrian, I don't know, castle? What is it? Palace? Anyways, it's little Indy doing his very first, like, sneaking around mission, his very first little Metal Gear Solid mission. And it's great, there's so many good firsts in that series. His first, truck hijacking is like such an awesome moment, because not only because of, like, he's doing the thing, but, like, also, like, it's like, who he's doing it to is very cool. I won't spoil that. I love that episode. Young Indiana Jones is so tight. What are we talking about? Look, all right. So at the end of the day, like, my advice, please, for God's sake, if you've got kids and you're gonna show them Star Wars, please, yeah, wait till they're like 10, not 5 or 6. That's too young. All right. Yeah, I know that I was like 7, but I was a precocious child. I like read Jurassic Park. Okay, I'm not the person to. I watched Jurassic Park like the preceding year, and then I got it as a book and then read it. Did I understand it? No. Did I read the whole book? Yes. So, whatever. Um, but, like, wait till your kid is like 9 or 10, and that is why Anakin is 10 in that fucking movie, you idiot. God damn it. 1 through 6. No stops, no breaks. I'm not saying to do it in one weekend. I'm just saying, do not be like, all right, we're gonna watch some Clone Wars episodes, or we're gonna watch Rogue One. No, no, no. Just try. Like, you have to, like, give them the core story first, and then the beauty of it is, I would say, just watch the sequels after that. But that's a great time to, like, now we're gonna backtrack. Now we're gonna watch, like, the coolest cartoon series ever. It's called the Clone Wars, and you're gonna love it. And then you can, like, yeah, like 7 seasons of this awesome show, and then you can go to Bad Batch, and then to Rebels. You can do that route. You can do the sequels. You can show them the comic books. You can go any direction that you want, but you gotta start with the core 6 movies, and you gotta watch them in the intended order, which, I'm sorry, is 1 through 6. So, yeah, great, a completely disjointed mess of a rant. But that's what you're all here for, right? This total babbling nonsense. Fantastic. I mean, that's what I'm here for. So, all right. Well, I hope this video finds you well, and may the force be with you. Merry Christmas. Yeah, this should come up around Christmas. So, yeah, Merry Christmas. For the people watching it this week, and then who happen to be watching it on or around Christmas in the future. Perfect. Nailed it. Stuck the landing. Awesome.